You're listening to The Building Code, your guide to a better way to run your business. I'm Tom Houghton.
Great job, Tom. I'm Paul Worth.
Thanks for that vote of approval there.
I mean, you do a good job.
Well, thank you.
Very professional.
Oh, well, I try.
You know, the yin and the yang that is the Building Code podcast.
Sure.
Which one are you?
We'll leave it up to the listeners.
Okay.
You can vote on that in the show notes. Visit that buildertrend.com/podcast. Producer Kaylee is setting that up right now. She's so excited. Or you could vote in the Building Code crew on Facebook, our group.
Wait a second. What is that?
The Building Code crew is what we're calling our fan club. We've got a fan club.
Wow, that's presumptuous.
I think right now there's probably 3 people in there. One of them is my mom.
So you can go on, this is news to me. So you can go on Facebook and you can search for the Building Code crew.
Yeah.
With a C, I assume.
I'm gonna call you out. It's news to you, yet you posted about it on Instagram, I think yesterday.
Paul Worth did?
Paul Worth.
Or Buildertrend did?
Whoops.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I personally posted on Instagram?
Yeah, you totally did. Producer Kaylee's laughing in the background right now because that is correct.
Okay. Show me where that is. I just pulled up my
On your
phone.
story, yeah.
I don't have a story. Oh, there you go.
Oh, and the light bulb came on.
I really got to manage my own. I post because my picture's there. I guess I didn't really read the content. The crew. Okay, tell me more.
Well, we're off track here, but you can follow Paul at The Paul Worth on Instagram, and you can follow Tom at Contech Tom, as in construction tech. That's Contech Tom, and you can listen to our guest right now. Our in-house guest joining us today on the podcast, Scott Vonderharr, Director of Product Strategy. Welcome to the podcast, Scott.
Welcome, Scott. That title sounds important. What do you do?
Yeah,
here?
Director of Product Strategy.
Yeah,
Yes.
talk us through it real quick.
Working with the product team, obviously. New position, Director of Product Strategy. So I've been in a product strategy role for a while, basically leading different teams within our product organization to look for different opportunities to improve our platform, better meet our customers' needs, help us grow the business.
Nice.
Cool. So for all those who don't know, outside of our company or even inside, what is the product team's function?
Yeah, so exactly that. It's looking for different ways that we can improve the platform that we are providing. We're really looking for collaboration between a lot of different parties to do that. So we're talking to our customers. We're talking to different pieces of our organization, whether that's our sales or CS team. We work a lot with our corporate development team. And then ultimately what we're doing is putting together projects, putting together opportunities to improve, and then helping our development team sort of drive those, working with design, working with engineers to get those into our product ultimately.
Yeah, so I think a lot of our clients think that like the development of our software is like just one big team. It's really a couple of different pieces. Your piece would be trying to hear from our clients. What do you want new? What do you want improved? How's your satisfaction with the software? And then you guys sort of ideate. You create the new feature in its concept, and then there's somebody behind it who actually develops like the actual engine. Is that fair?
Yeah. So, I mean, ultimately what we're
Did
looking
that make sense to you, Tom? I lost myself. I actually know.
I think you might have lost the listeners, too.
I actually know the process and couldn't explain it. So, whoopsie daisy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scott. You're well.
He's the expert.
Much better.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think what we're ultimately trying to do is put together what are the problems that our users are having with the platform today. We think we have a great product, but it can always improve. So we're trying to work with those different people to identify what are the areas that people are having problems with, what are the things people could be using better, what are the things that could be more discoverable, and working to ultimately define kind of those problems and hand them off with the work of a design team to our engineers to develop that solution.
Awesome.
Makes sense. So now that we know what you do, Tom, what's he doing here?
Yeah, today we're going to talk about a feature, doing a feature spotlight on a specific feature that was highly requested by our users, and we have delivered this. So
It's an exciting setup.
yeah, thanks. Well, so we're going to talk about work in progress reports, or we're going to call them WIP reports from here on out, just because that's a little easier. No comments from the peanut gallery, apparently.
WIP reports it is.
WIP reports.
I've heard this term ever since I started here at Buildertrend 13 years and some change ago.
Yeah.
Scott actually, little sidebar, he was on the sales team for a while.
Yes.
Scott's been in all three.
Yeah, he's been in all three major departments.
That's something. That's like maybe the only person.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. So I started here about 8 years ago in our customer success department. Spent about a year there. Moved to the sales floor for a while. We ended up having an opportunity open up over on our engineering side to really get a product team up and running. So been doing that for about the last 6 years.
Yeah. So would you say you've heard this concept of WIP reports or work in progress reports as long as you've been here as well?
Pretty much. Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily specific to construction, is it? Or is it?
The version we're doing is, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the concept of a work in progress report is probably more global than that. But let's start there. Explain to us. I don't know if this is this the next question?
Yeah, this is.
I usually keep it on the
yeah, you're
rails
just
here.
going off the rails. So
okay. So explain to the crowd what is a work in progress report.
Yeah, so it lets a builder know where they stand financially on a job and helps really remove surprises.
Sounds important.
I think so, yeah. So if a builder has questions like which of my jobs are getting ready to wrap up and are giving me the best profit margin, or which of my jobs need extra attention because they're over budget, this report is going to help you move forward and make decisions before it's too late.
That's smart.
So today we have a budget in Buildertrend, a budget view essentially, and what we allow you to do is import all your estimated cost and then track all your actual cost. How is this different?
Well, I think our budget does a great job for job costing, and at the end of the job, it's pretty much telling you the full story. But
so at the end, you know the deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what this is going to help with is identify problems while the job's in flight. So while we're in progress, what kind of cash flow are we looking at? Are we profitable up to this point? Are we drawing enough cash to make sure we're going to be able to pay our subs?
Oh, cool.
That's hence the in progress part of the name, right? With the work in progress.
Right. I just didn't know, if you're entering bills in real time, you're just not realizing all your costs yet, right? So that's probably the process. So it's just filling that gap that we don't have today.
Yeah. So which ones are completed? Are we making sure we're invoicing our clients? Yep.
So why, Scott, would you say that a work in progress report is critical for any builder?
Well, like I said, I mean, I think it's going to help you remove surprises. So if you're going to have some of those things that are going to come up where maybe you haven't invoiced your client yet, but you have some work done and it's time to pay that subcontractor, you can run into real problems there if you're not staying on top of it.
Sure. Why do you think it's probably hard for contractors to produce a work in progress report like in something like Excel or something? How are people otherwise doing this now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good question. So exactly that. In our initial research, we found that people are building these in Excel today. So they're taking data that they've already put into our program and they're exporting it out. They're manually creating these reports. And some of the builders we interviewed actually talked about this being something that they're spending 4 or 5 hours a week building for their projects. So that means besides it being really time consuming, they're also not getting real-time data at the end of that 4 or 5 hours of work that they just did. Because if anything changes during that time, they're already out of date. So that's what we really set out to solve with this and what I think we're going to end up delivering. Can I give a shout out to our research team on this one?
Well, you can absolutely.
I was gonna mention that because you had mentioned that we talk to our clients, and I think that is something we talk a lot about on this podcast, but maybe some people don't realize this is in action. This is the result of talking to our clients. And so, walk us through how you guys researched this.
Yeah, so just shout out to the research team. We had Gabby Colson, Sarah Bibbin, Sadie Lumen, and Nate Worth really critical on this one. So we realized we had an opportunity to strengthen our financial reporting overall. And like you mentioned, Paul, we have heard this WIP report specifically, but what this group of people did is they went out, they talked to dozens of our builders about the reports that they're running today, why they're running them, what kind of value they're getting from running those reports. And then what we did was we worked together to build a prototype version. We ran these back with some of those same builders, different groups of builders, brought this to BTU, Buildertrend University, and had some of these people test this out. And what I think they really helped us out with is roll out a really improved overall reporting experience. There's a few other reports that are kind of getting a facelift at the same time as this one, but this one's sort of the highlight, and it's bringing a lot of updates at the same time, but wanted to just shout out that this is a great example of working with our clients in collaborating on that final design and what we're going to deliver.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've talked about this before, the product influencer list.
Yeah.
Is that the list you guys used for this?
We do start there a lot of times. We do have a small group of contractors that we're speaking with pretty regularly.
Okay.
And they helped out a lot with what do these WIP reports look like today?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to get, so if you're interested and you're listening, you're a client of Buildertrend, if you're interested in getting on the product influencer list, just email us at the podcast. What's our podcast email?
Just podcast@buildertrend.com.
That's easy.
We kept it simple.
That's easy.
Or better yet, join the Facebook
Oh, that's even
crew
better.
and just message us in there.
So you have to follow Tom on Instagram.
Yeah.
Join the Facebook group.
Couple steps.
Then you're qualified.
Yeah.
Message us and you're in.
Exactly.
We'd love to hear from you.
We would. So what would be some benefits, somebody out there listening right now saying, is this feature for me? What do I get out of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, those insights that we talk about, like helping someone understand if they're ahead of or behind schedule, understanding profitability on their projects, what job they're producing, higher margins, what project managers are the best at making sure we are profitable, where are we
Ooh, that's a good
slipping.
one.
Yeah, and where are we slipping on getting paid for these projects? We hope to be answering all of those questions with this same report.
And it sounds like some of the people you interviewed, it's going to save time, like 4 or 5 hours a week. If
Yeah.
they're doing it already.
Absolutely. And that's really what we found is that a lot of the reports like this are things that we already have the data in our system.
Right.
So why should we make people export those out and create them on their own? Should be a huge time savings.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's safe to say that anything that you're doing outside of Buildertrend that can be done inside Buildertrend and we can automate that for you, we're on the search for those things.
Yeah.
Is that safe to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. This definitely hits all those things. So I'm really excited about it because I know this is something that's very important to a lot of contractors we talk to. So talk us through this. This is not a question that was on the list, so you may not know this, but how do we, when we have something big like this, how do we get it out in front of our clients?
So we actually do have a newer process for this where we roll it out to a small group of people first. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have kind of this prototype idea that we do where we'll design a solution, we build it, and we get it in front of people before we actually write the code to implement it into our solution. And that's really our first point where we're getting feedback on our designs. It'll go through a lot of iterations after that. But once we do actually get it in the developer's hands and we code it and it's a part of our code, we have this release process where we actually are still showing this to a small group of people so we can make small tweaks, show it to a lot of people obviously internally to get them understanding what the benefits of it are so that they can sell and support the updates. We're rolling this out to a small group of people, a larger group of people. It's a staged rollout process where we maybe will have 100 people, then we'll roll it out to 1,000 once we feel like we're comfortable with how those 100 people are reacting to it, and then ultimately to the entire user base.
Great. So when you log in the next time, will there be some sort of notification that it's available, or is there something to that degree that we'll do?
We're working on some different tools right now with Intercom to potentially be able to do things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Intercom is that new chat feature you're probably seeing both on our .com public-facing website and in the product. We've got an entire team we spun up to answer your chat questions. I think what we realized, not only within our clientele, but just in general in the world, people are more comfortable asking questions via chat, and then we can give answers really quickly. So make sure you look out for that and utilize that because the whole team's waiting.
It's just like an immediate response too to help you out, which is really nice. I think it's just a really great new offering from our support team.
Correct.
So
yep. And that chat has a notification option that we're going to start using, which is really cool. So look out for that. A couple teasers there, Tom.
That's right.
That's a business term.
Or I just thought you were going with another
Show
like
business.
Teaser Tom or something. New nickname.
Not yet. I'll handle those.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
Let's learn more about Scott.
Yeah. Let's talk about Scott. Let's get to know Scott a little bit more.
I'm excited.
Scott, we have a series of questions that we line up for our guests, and those questions are hard-hitting journalism facts.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So are you ready?
Hard-hitting
I think
journalism questions. You're really workshopping this one.
I know. Scott, you're true or false? Maybe we'll make a game out of it. You are getting married soon.
Correct. Yes, in April.
That's
April 25th.
exciting.
Yeah.
April 25th.
Mazel tov.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Scott, you've worked in every department here at Buildertrend. Which one's been your favorite and why?
Well, I love what I do right now. The product department is what I think has been the best fit for me, just because I do like the aspect of still working with our clients, but really solving their problems through the use of technology is just something that's exciting to me.
Nice. Would you say, so second question, would you say you have any kind of like milestone moments that stood out in your last 8 years of Buildertrend history here. Any funny stories that you want to share?
Milestone moments. Yeah, I mean, I think there's been a few. I moved to a couple different departments. So started off in our CS department. I think moving to sales was exciting for me, getting to see that side of the business. But most recently, moving to director of product strategy was exciting for me.
Fantastic. What's your favorite place you visited?
Well, favorite place I visited had to have been last year. Went to San Diego. That's actually where I got engaged.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go. You're engaged.
You and your fiance travel a lot.
We do,
and it's typically for concerts, right?
Yeah, it has.
So, what's favorite concert you've ever been to?
Oh man, I would have to say Red Rocks. I saw My Morning Jacket there a couple years ago.
Now, My Morning Jacket. Now, that's a band.
It's a rock band.
Yeah, it's a rock
and
band.
roll.
I've actually heard they're great.
They are. Yeah.
Check them out. Check them out live, right?
Yes.
There you go.
For sure.
And you are an animal lover?
Yes.
You have a dog?
I do. Carl.
Carl's your dog.
Yes.
It's a great name.
He is a Labradoodle.
And we'll put a picture of Carl in the show notes.
Yeah, that'd be great. He's 10 months old. He's full of fun.
Producer Kaylee's super happy about that.
We'll get him on. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Scott, for joining us on this podcast and telling us about work in progress reports and a little bit about yourself as well. We enjoyed having you on the podcast.
Yeah, it's been great.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate you.
Love what you heard? Don't forget to rate and subscribe to our podcast so you can hear from more guests that will benefit your business. Also, please check out our show notes page for more information on what we discussed on this episode. You can find it at buildertrend.com/podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Building Code.
Appreciate you.